Hey guys, what's up? It's your man Pete. And I know what I'm going to talk about today is going to cause people some stress, a little bit of anxiety, and definitely a lot of FOMO. Even those of you who already own a home and are benefiting from the rising house prices, even you might feel a little bit uneasy about where home prices are going in the next couple of months. Because we are here in unprecedented territory. We have never seen prices go up this much in the Toronto and Greater Toronto area ever in history. Toronto has never seen such a tight supply or a squeeze on inventory before. And of course, such incredible and unwavering demand from home buyers, especially young home buyers and new immigrants. And this was actually indicated and acknowledged by the Toronto Real Estate Board in their last Market Watch report for October of 2021. We are finally, as a city, no longer in denial about where Toronto is heading for the future in terms of home prices, growth, and demand for housing here in the entire Toronto region. But in this episode, I will pontificate and give you my thoughts and signature insights into what I think is going to happen over the next couple of months and whether we will actually hit that $1.2 million average home price in the Greater Toronto region. We'll get into that quickly today, right after this. Okay, and we're back. And so the Toronto Real Estate Board recently released their figures last week. And of course, no surprises here. Inventory levels were really low. We were down over 34% in terms of new listings coming to market, which basically means people are not really putting their homes up for sale. And this is always usually a bad sign for buyers because there's not a lot to choose from and you just got to get into something as quickly as possible. But then of course, if we start measuring the numbers compared to last year, last year was not really a very normal year for us. It's like getting into one of those wonky, weird mirror rooms in a haunted house. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where nothing looks normal. Everything is bent and twisted out of shape, which pretty much describes how the housing market was in 2021 in the first year of the pandemic. I hope everyone had a good Halloween, by the way. So it's definitely not accurate. It's not a good measuring stick for us to be measuring against last year. It's probably better to measure against 2019 in terms of telling us how strong or how weak the market is. But what we are certain of is that demand is very strong and there's just not enough supply out there for people to buy. So a couple of other key figures. Sales were down almost 7%, which of course was because of the low inventory. And I think it's pretty clear in the overall sentiment is that the first half of the year was just incredibly strong, incredibly active, very aggressive. And then once the warm weather came in the summertime, things just sort of really chilled and leveled off. Things have picked up a little bit here in the first few months of fall, but it's nothing near what we saw in the first half of the year in 2021. And it turns out that the stress tests actually had a bigger impact on the market than we had originally thought. The market sort of became very top heavy and overbought from the first half of the year and sort of now is just kind of coasting and cruising along the way. We're definitely short on sellers, but demand and buyers are still there. So for me, I think if there was more listings and more properties for sale, we could easily see 1,000 or 2,000 more transactions happening at this time of year. And there hasn't really been any sort of major shocks or catalysts in the market, such as interest rate increases here in 2021. But what's really interesting to point out in the Market Watch report from the Toronto Real Estate Board is that they really think that all governments should now really acknowledge the shortage and limited supply of housing options for people here in the Greater Toronto region. People have been saying it for years, and lately we've been hearing a lot of talks and murmurings about people saying they want to relax some of those greenbelt restrictions so that there's more homes that can be built, because obviously you cannot grow, live, and expand and raise a family in a condo. We're not at that stage, and I'm not even sure if we'll ever get to that stage here in Toronto. It's a very simple but complicated fix in terms of increasing the housing supply here in the region. But we really need to start seeing all the levels of government coming together and making things as easy and as smooth as possible so that we can bring more supply, bring down the tension and intensity of home buying here in the Toronto area. So as it stands here, the average home price in Toronto for October was $1,155,000 and some change, which is the highest average price we have seen all year here in 2021. And, we had a very strong market for pretty much the whole year this year, but October was the most expensive month. And so this is sort of giving us some leading and clear indications over the next several months and even early into 2022 that home prices are probably not going to slow down, because for those of you who follow my channel, you know that during the winter months when it's the slowest inventory, you have a lot of people that are getting ready to get back out there, especially if they couldn't make a move in 2021. 2021, they really want to make something happen early in 2022. And if there's a low amount of inventory at that time, that typically causes spikes in prices to happen. And couple that with the news that we might be having rate increases in 2022, maybe even in the first quarter of 2022. The overall intention of rate hikes is to sort of curb the market and to slow down the housing market in the medium term. But in the short term, what happens is it ends up forcing people and driving people to make a move sooner and faster so that they can lock in their mortgage rates. So in the end, it really sucks for buyers because you're going to try to save money on your mortgage rates, but you're going to end up paying more for the house. So it all kind of just ends up being a wash. Because in a low inventory environment, even in the dead of winter, the buying activity is usually very intense and very frenetic. Because you have bidding activity, you have bully offers, and it's usually kind of a recipe for disaster for new home buyers. So based on what we're seeing with the numbers and also what we're seeing in the field with our clients here at Selling Toronto, it's entirely possible that we will hit $1.2 million as an average home price here in the region, probably in the next 2 to 4 months, and it could possibly even happen before Christmas of 2021 because I just don't see any improvement in the inventory and supply over the next couple of months. I just don't see where there would be a sudden rush of people putting up their houses for sale because honestly, right now, this is prime time buying and selling, and we're just not seeing the amount of inventory that we should be seeing at this time of year. We already got a sneak preview of what happens when the weather was really nice in the summertime. You know, people just want to chill, they just want to have a good time, they just want to relax, they don't want to think about buying and selling a house. What I suspect this year is we're going to see an earlier slowdown before the holiday season. I mean, we're literally seeing people putting up Christmas trees already here in early November. So sellers are definitely going to pack it in and not think about selling right now, maybe in early or fall of 2022, because of course with restrictions easing and most people vaccinated, we're almost getting back to a normal way of life. And so people are going to want to get back to a normal holiday time and celebration, which includes traveling and gathering with their friends and family. So selling a home in these next couple of months is really going to take a back seat. And then of course, when supply is low, then you also have less buyers too. But then we'll probably start to see things happen in the second or third week of January, or if not, early February. Because as you all know, Toronto real estate doesn't slow down for anybody. Maybe for St. Nick for a couple of weeks, but that's about it. Nobody else. So it's going to be an interesting story and an interesting development here in the last few months of 2021 and into early 2022, which is why you need to follow us here at Selling Toronto. You need to subscribe, you need to like, you need to watch our videos all the way until the end so that you can stay up to date, stay informed, and learn new things about how to buy and sell property, not just in Toronto, but anywhere. And then of course, if you're ready to make a move, you're going to buy or sell, then of course you know who you should be calling. We definitely need more sellers, guys. So if you're interested in selling your property, give us a shout. We will take excellent care of you. We will help you get record-breaking prices on your property so that you can enjoy and relax over the holiday season, knowing that your house is sold and in good hands. But before we sign off, it's definitely a good time to be in a grateful mood because of course, Remembrance Day is in a couple of days, you know, where we give thanks and we give our gratitude for our troops and our veterans who fought for our freedoms so that we could have health, wealth, and abundance here in North America and pretty much all over around the world. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.